Welcome back to Crash Course Macroeconomics with Matias Ceballos and Vera Castillo. Today we're going to discuss the importance of inclusive economic growth, specifically how it relates to the country of Ecuador.
First of all, why must inclusive economic growth be a priority for policymakers, businesses, and the public in general? It should be a priority because everyone should be benefited in an economy, not only the high class. More hands can lead to more growth. You have to boost growth and counter the slowdown in emerging markets. We need to step up efforts around the whole world to accelerate economic activity and to ensure that it benefits and reaches everybody in society.
You might be wondering how we're going to reach this in this country, but of course, there are necessary indicators and therefore necessary goals that should be accomplished for each indicator for inclusive economic growth to take place. We're going to talk about 10 indicators and a goal for each. The first indicator is an increase in wages by race.
Our goal is to increase wages for Afro-Ecuadorians and ethnic groups.
The second indicator is the unemployment rate will decrease.
We want to decrease unemployment rate for gender, specifically women, and for all races, including Afro-Ecuadorians and indigenous groups.
The third indicator is the increase in literacy rate, also by race.
We want to increase the literacy rate for Afro-Ecuadorians and ethnic groups.
The fourth indicator is the GDP composition by sector.
We want to increase the GDP in the agriculture and construction sector in Ecuador.
Also, the median household income is a great indicator for the inclusive economic growth.
We need to increase the median household income.
Another indicator we want to discuss is the employment of minors by race. We have to decrease this.
We will have to decrease the employment of minors from Afro-Ecuadorian and indigenous groups.
Another indicator is the infant mortality rate, which should be totally decreased.
Another one is the access to healthcare.
Okay, and the goal for access to healthcare would be for everyone, no matter the race or the gender, to access healthcare, disregarding their monetary situation. Another one is the graduation from school percent based by gender, because right now men are usually more prone to finishing their education, while women already turn out to have children by the age of 18.
So we want for women to have a higher percentage of graduation from school.
The last indicator is the job positions by race and gender, because it's often seen that men have higher positions of power, and also races are usually, the big companies are homogenized by white race.
So we want that low economic groups like Afro-Ecuadorians and ethnic groups to have higher positions as well as women all around Ecuador.
Of course, the path to meet these indicators, as well as the goals, will not be an easy path. So, what do you think would be some challenges for this?
Well, there would be many challenges, but I think the most important one would be time. I mean, it's very hard to control all the people that want these effects immediately, and they have to wait some time for this to change and to help all social classes, all races, and all genders. So
also, I think that a very important challenge here would be the cultural effect, because as a culture that has been built over thousands of years, people have these things in their head that things should maintain the way they are right now. Therefore, it would be really hard to start changing their perception.
That goes with time too, because with time, cultural ideas would change. For example, sexism and discrimination based on race and on social class will have to change based on our education.
That's true. Also, another challenge that I find important is the dependence on an international coin, which is the dollar, the US dollar, which makes us totally external to the fluctuation of this coin. We depend on it, but it's not our fault if it fluctuates.
I completely agree. All these challenges will will allow us to fight for our goals and to achieve all our goals and our indicators as well.
Another thing very important for economic inclusion is the consideration of certain industries that should be promoted in order to fulfill these goals. The first industry that we want to talk about is the medical industry. It is a huge industry because it has high-paying jobs and it also will promote healthcare accessible for everybody. So, in order to do this, we need to capacitate workers, capacitate doctors, capacitate nurses, and everyone in order to promote this industry.
Another industry is the technological industry. This will allow us to ourselves in Ecuador have our own technology and have no need to import technology from other countries. Higher technology means easier to produce certain things, and this will allow us to increase economic growth and be a more developed country as a whole.
The third industry is the education industry. As we all know, teachers are not paid enough, and this should be changed because education is the base for everything. So, in order to propel education, and in order for people to get a higher education and keep up doing the other things and promoting the other industries, we need to invest in education by investing in their teachers and investing in the school as a whole.
Additionally, we will give scholarships for higher education so that more professionals acquire a certain level of knowledge that will allow whole Ecuador as a country to become more developed and increase the economic growth.
So as you can see, being a developing country like Ecuador and achieving these goals is very hard and will be a really hard road, but the efforts and the benefits of this will be seen in the future. Through overcoming certain barriers, the strongest one being the cultural ones, and also by investing in key industries like the medical, the educational industry, and also the technological one.
Well, see you next time on Crash Course Macroeconomics. Bye.